Welcome to Charles Krug Winery and the fabulous Auction Napa Valley 2018.
It's an amazing thing because to bring this many vintners together, the staff works wonderfully well every year. The vintners step up to plate every year with their money and their time and their energy, their passion. And to be here this year, now with the honorary chairs, the Mondavi sisters, we're standing in the oldest bonded winery in Napa Valley, 1861, with the fourth generation of Mondavi winemakers behind us.
I'm Giovanna, and I'm glad to introduce you to my three amazing sisters. This is Angelina, Alycia, and Riana, and it's an absolute honor. Also celebrating Charles Krug's 75th anniversary as a family-owned winery. We are the fourth generation, and it is a huge privilege to be standing here because of them.
Dariush Khaledi from Dariush Winery. Who has not been influenced by Bob Mondavi? Yes, he was one of my mentors, and God bless his soul.
Hi, my name is Laura Barrett, and I'm the winemaker for Cliff Family Winery. I think the Mondavi families are an anchor in Napa Valley winemaking, and they've really guided us and shown us what families can do in this business on a larger scale, and I think that's really motivating.
I'm Sean Thompson with J. Davies Stromsburg Vineyards. Well, the influence has got to be someone who's willing to stand by the side of the road and hawk Sauvignon Blanc and just be a proud, gentle man who's able to go out there and make Napa Valley shine. How can you not be more excited to try and come out of your shell, which is not the natural thing for winemakers?
I'm Kevin Morrisey from Eller's Estate, St. Helena, here at the Napa Valley Auction 2018 with a barrel of 2016 Cabernet Sauvignon from the ranch. Mondavi's, it's a legacy, you know, that was like, you know, the quintessential Napa Valley winemaking beginnings. You know, it's a, you know, that kind of legacy, a history of that family, and you know, the passion, and you know, it's not just about growing the grapes and have a passion for growing the grapes, the farming and making the wines, but you know, he was the guy that brought it to the people, right? And you know, that's huge. There's a lot of wine growing regions that never had a Robert Mondavi. I mean, the Languedoc never had a Robert Mondavi, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, every day somebody's buying a bottle of Napa Valley Cabernet, you got to thank Robert Mondavi. You can't be in the Napa Valley making wine and not be grateful for everything Robert Mondavi did before us, so.
Hi, my name is Hugh Davies from Schramsberg and Davies Vineyards here in the Napa Valley. My family has been here for the last 52 years, and we're excited to be here today to help raise money for our community. It is exciting to be here at the Charles Krug Winery, one of really the very first winery in Napa Valley, dating back to 1861, but revived by the Mondavi family in the post-prohibitionary era in the 30s and into the early 40s. It's a tremendous family legacy, now extending for 80 some years, and they've done a fine job of really staying the course. My goal with our winery is similar to extend the life of our winery and our family here in the valley for generations to come.
Hi, camera. I have the pleasure of being here with Ray Pfister. My name is Linda Neal, and I am the owner of Tierra Roja. Thanks for being out here today, Ray. You know, and truthfully, being in Oakville, my relationship with the Robert Mondavi group is a little bit stronger. I've never done business directly with the Peter Mondavi group, but both families have really done a lot for this valley. Whenever I think of what we've become in terms of a center for food and wine and art around the world, I think of Robert Mondavi and what he did to teach us all that rising tide floats all boats. And he was always so generous with his knowledge, with his house, with his winery, everything he shared, everything that he spent millions of dollars to learn, he shared it with everybody. Being a grower that delivered fruit to him, I learned that really firsthand. Once I went to the wine side, I learned it again.
Ray, Renee Arian, the Duckworth Vineyards winemaker. You know, I'm feeling pretty good about the 17s, Ray. You know, it was a unique vintage, right? I think it was one that kind of touched the valley in a way that we will always remember. But we were really fortunate at all of our properties, at our vineyards and sites, so didn't have any damage, which was great. And you know, the wines are showing a lot of really beautiful potential. They're focused, they're concentrated, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them out in the market.
Okay. Hi, I'm Chelsea Bellows with The Debate. I always tell people that when you are looking for the history of this valley, you have to go on the Robert Mondavi tour. And it's the first time that I really started understanding and grasp when I was first in the industry, and I always think it's a great thing to do. And now that I have the opportunity, I've been tasting a lot of old wines, so going 60s, 70s, 80s. And I would say, actually it was about a month ago, Jean and I had a bottle of 1964 Charles Krug. And it was a moment that we both put down the glass and looked at each other and said, oh my goodness, because it's still bright and vibrant, and you just see the difference of where things are today, and that they really hold up, and it's really that Napa Valley wines can age. So it's a magical thing that this valley has, and it's really important that we realize that they're going to last for a long time.
Yes, I'm Jean Figuer. I'm the winemaker of Alpha Omega. Well, I'll tell you a very good little story. About 2 days ago, I was having dinner with some friends in a Napa restaurant, and we drank 1962 Charles Krug. So yeah, they not only have the impact of their legacy, but also of the greatness of Napa. Every legacy is built through times, and when you taste these wines that are still fresh and alive today, you understand what legacy means.
Hi, this is Pam Starr with Crocker & Starr Winery. That's a great question for me, Ray, since I've been around the block or two. You know, this is my 35th vintage making wine, and back in the early 80s, I'd have to say both Mondavis and Mondavis taught us a lot. I have to say that both Bob and Peter were involved in research, and it was a very collaborative, cooperative decade, and we learned everything we could possibly, and we shared everything we knew.
Well, and a couple of people have already said a lot of us wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for them. Is that fairly true?
Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of good in that statement. You know, Bob Mondavi was involved in some of the first French oak barrels that were imported here. There were some other people that were partnered with him, but he was willing to take those risks. And I think Peter took a different kind of risk. You know, he chartered a different territory. And both territories are super important to us today. So would we be here? Probably, but would we be here as well as we are today? Probably not.
Hi there, Elias Fernandez from Schaefer Vineyards winemakers. The Mondavis were, you know, some of the early pioneers that, you know, made what it is today. I mean, they distributed wine throughout the country, you know, talked about the arts and food and wine, and today, look what are we doing today? Arts, food, and wine, you know.
My name is Aaron Pott, itinerant winemaker and owner of Pott Wine. I'm kind of the two iteration guy. So I've been making wine for 30 years now, but I made wine for 6 years in Saint-Emilion. I ran a chateau called Trollong-Mondo and a chateau called La Tour Figeac. And so I kind of had split my time. I think like most people, I got my start working for Robert Mondavi Winery way back in the 80s. And it was an incredibly wonderful, open-minded place where you could taste amazing wines. I think I tasted all of the first growth Bordeaux's there, all of the great Burgundies. Both Robert and Tim Mondavi were very influential for me early on, and I met some of the greatest winemakers in the valley at that place. It's a great place to work, and I think we all owe something to Robert Mondavi.
Hi, I'm Christine Barr, and I'm pouring today Cakebread wine. We are tasting the 2014 Sauvignon Blanc. Well, I work for Robert Mondavi Winery, and of course it was a very good thing for all the employees of Mondavi, because they were like a father to us, and they encourage us, and they teach us a lot of things. So.
Hello, I'm Karen Cakebread, and I have a brand called Ziada Wines. Well, obviously they were way ahead of me, but I do remember one of my very first trips to Napa Valley. Charles Krug was the first winery I came to, and I remember really enjoying the wines, but the other thing I remembered is their tasting room manager was telling us a story about the mud baths of Calistoga and all the minerals that are mixed into the mud baths, and so I had to go up to Calistoga and try it out. It was fabulous. But yes, you know, they set the bar, and we're happy to be here to celebrate them. They've done a beautiful job of restoring the property over several years, and very generous to host the auction this year.